Righteousness. Whoa, every trial that may come, though the weapons may form, they will not prosper. The battle is already won. Through him we have the victory. Every trial that may come, though the weapons may form, they will not prosper. The battle is already won. Through him we have the victory. Everybody lift up your voice, say, I am an overcomer. Through him we have the victory. I am more than a conqueror. We have the victory. Come on and put your hands together like this. If you're victorious, make some noise. If you're victorious, make some noise. Every issue you may face, Christ has paid the price for you and for me. Since he conquered death, hell, and the grave, through him we have a victory. Every issue you may face, Christ has paid for you and for me. Everybody clap your hands like this. Come on, come on. Right here we're going to decree and declare that we are the head and not the tail. We are above and not beneath. We are the lender and not the borrower. Amen. I am the head and not the tail. And not beneath. I win. Can y'all help me say, I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. Okay, y'all got it? We're going to stay there a little bit. Y'all all right? Pick it up right here. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. Yes, we do. We are the winners. We are victorious. I am the head and not the tail. I am above and not beneath. Yes, we do. Hey, y'all ready to decree it? Here we go. Say, I win. Yes, I do. I'm more than a conqueror. I'm an overcomer. Christ Jesus. All the winners make some noise in the house. All my winners make some noise in the house. I got any winners over here? I need y'all to make some noise. And repeat after me. Say, oh, I am a winner. 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 the weapons they form, they will not prosper. The battle is already won. When we have the victory, every trial that may come, no the weapons they form, they will not prosper. The battle is already won. When we have the victory, everybody lift up your voice, say I am an overcomer through
All right, that is our theme here every Wednesday at 12 noon. This is Winning Wednesday, and what an awesome song that is befitting for today. We are all winners. We are victorious. That is what Winning Wednesday is all about. And Candy West does a phenomenal job singing that song. The whole album is great. That's one of her older albums, but listen, what a reminder we need on today, on Wednesday. No more saying hump day. We're not going to say this is hump day, but this is victory day. This is Winning Wednesday day. And so welcome everyone to Birmingham Bible Church's Winning Wednesday. We are so thankful for you. We are thankful that you watch. We're thankful that you support. We are thankful for your comments, for your feedback. And we are really thankful that these Winning Wednesdays are helping you. They are inspiring you, and they are educating you on life's journey. And so we've come to another Wednesday, whereby we provide you some great information through our various guests. And so, of course, today is no different. The topic for today has a health component. We're going to be talking about colorectal cancer. And why are we talking about this? Well, this month is recognized as National Colorectal Cancer Month. And of course, as with anything, early detection is the key. So listen, go to your doctors, whatever it is. I think the saying is, if you see something, say something. I know that applies to when you see crimes and things going on in society. But listen, if you see something going on with your body, say something to your doctor. But listen, all month long, they're raising the awareness of this. They're talking about risk factors, treatment options, all that kind of stuff, research that is going forward, because it's still something that is prevalent in our society. So on today, we have our guest, Rochelle Wallace. She has been with us before. She is with UAB Birmingham, and she just gives great information. She always gives great information coming from the Comprehensive Cancer Center right here in this city. And so listen, y'all know how we do it. Please make sure you share this broadcast. Make sure you tag someone, you text someone. The last person you gossip to, just take some of this information, take some of this broadcast, copy the link, send it to them, because we all need to know about it. You may not need it now, but you might need it in the future. As the preachers like to say, just put it in, put this information in the freezer, and you may need it later on, if not for yourself, but for someone that you love. So listen, make sure you share this, and I'm going to get out of the way and let our guest come on today and go ahead and present her information. But listen, if you have any questions, especially on YouTube and on Facebook, we are here watching. We can actually get those questions answered on today. So hello, Rochelle. How are you?
I am excellent, Lady Pam. Just thrilled to be here with you again. It's been a while, but just so excited to be here today.
Yes, me too. Yes, I'm excited. I'm always excited when you come, because you bring things in a very practical, meaningful way, very easy to digest. And so thank you for, of course, for accepting the invitation. I know y'all are super busy there at UAB Birmingham, but thank you for giving us just a little bit of your time just to share with our people on today.
Absolutely. We appreciate the opportunity. And as you stated, anytime that we can get that message of early detection out, it is critical, saves lives, just knowing that there's something that you can do. And we have a part to play in our overall health. So really appreciate opportunities to get out into the community and to, like you said, just share this message. We want to share hope, not so much just a morbid message, but hope that there is really hope these days, and there's such advancements in technology and that kind of thing. So we really appreciate opportunities like this.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. So tell us about colorectal cancer.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll just take it away here for a few minutes. And like I said, we're not going to do a big presentation or anything. We're just going to talk today. Just want to give you some information, and we'll just feed off one another today. But a little bit about myself. You've already said my name is Rochelle Wallace. I am the Health Initiatives Manager at the O'Neill Comprehensive Cancer Center within the Office of Community Outreach and Engagement. So that's a whole lot to say, but basically, just like Lady Pam has already said, we're right here in the Birmingham area of UAB, but we're part of the Cancer Center. So part of what we do is take this message of the need for cancer screenings and awareness and knowing your body and knowing your family history and all of these kind of things. It's so important, and that's what we try to do, get these messages out. And we utilize, some people may be familiar with it, but we utilize a CHA model, that is community health advisors. So we have a lot of volunteers throughout the state of Alabama, even over into Mississippi, and they help us to spread this message out. And primarily we focus on what is now 7 cancers, and we call them impact cancers. Those 7 cancers include colorectal, breast, prostate, lung, cervical, and even this month also is multiple myeloma awareness month. That's one of the newer ones, but that we've recently added, and also brain tumors, which Brain Tumor Awareness Month will come up in May. But as you've already stated, this month we want to deal with colorectal cancer awareness because it is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. And another reason that we pretty much selected some of these as impact cancers is because we realize for our geographic location, also within minorities, populations, underserved and underinsured populations, those are some of the most frequently diagnosed cancers within these populations. And I think the most important message, once I get into talking today, that we want to reveal about colorectal cancer is, for the most part, it can be prevented. And so you don't want to see people dying from anything, but you definitely don't want to see them dying from a cancer, which, we can do something about and really deter and prevent, and by just taking the right steps and precautionary measures. So especially as it relates to being able to provide access to health and those type of things. So we're excited for this opportunity. So just a little bit right now about colorectal cancer. Colorectal cancer is right now, it is the third leading cause of cancer-related deaths, the third leading. The number 1 cause of cancer death, of course, is lung cancer. And then if you break down between men and women, you then may see prostate cancer, of course, in men, and breast cancer in women. But when you start looking at both men and women, it's the 3rd most common cause of cancer death, as well as the 3rd most commonly diagnosed within men and women within the United States. And something that it should, we don't take anything for granted, but it's called colorectal cancer because it can begin in either the colon or the rectum. So that does, and I know sometimes we don't hear that breakdown like that all the time. Some people say, there's colon cancer or rectal cancer, but yeah, that's where we get the term colorectal cancer from. And oftentimes when you're looking, when you go in for a colonoscopy, and I'm trying not to get ahead of myself, but they can detect if there are polyps there. Now, polyps is simply nothing more than just an abnormal growth or some abnormality there within the colon area. But during a colonoscopy, the physician can remove it. They can take it out. Well, that's key because polyps can take years and years to actually develop into cancer. So if they can get it removed at an early stage, you've thus prevented cancer. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question. So does having polyps increase your chances of having colon cancer? I mean, let's just say you still get them, surgically removed, but do they increase the chances of people getting colon cancer?
I'm going to be honest. Now, let me preface this by saying I am not a medical doctor.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I am not a medical doctor, but I would say because all polyps are not cancerous. You know what I'm saying? So and all of them will not lead to cancer. So just by the mere fact of having them removed, that's going to help to decrease them. And then, oftentimes that's going to help to decrease your chances on developing cancer in that colorectal cancer. But there are other things along with that. There even a family history of colorectal cancer and that kind of thing. So there are other risk factors that are involved, and we'll get more into some of the risk factors in just a moment. But yeah, and also, and I know that, you know, being people of faith, we're gonna believe to the hills and to the high heavens, I should say. And that's what we still need to do, and we're going to continue to do that. But there are some estimates that they have released that even for the year 2023, that just diagnosis of new cases is over 100,000 just for this year alone. And that's only for colon cancer. And then another 46,000 is estimated when you're talking about rectal cancer. But then of those numbers, unfortunately, there's an estimate that there could be even up to 50,000 or more, 52,000 actually, of people to die from this, which, like we said, that's why we appreciate opportunities such as this to get the information out, because it doesn't, you know, it's something that we could really get diagnosed at a much earlier time. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's good. No, you're good.
Okay. And another little bit of information, just with African Americans in particular, they have one of the highest colorectal cancer rates. And also the mortality rate. That's what I wanted to get, that the mortality rate as well as the incidence rate. Incidence meaning just the diagnosis of it. They have one of the highest of any other ethnic or racial group. And now they did say that the rates are decreasing somewhat, but they're decreasing kind of slower than maybe we would have wanted them to. And I think they said it's about 3% is what we have here. And when it comes to African-American men, they're about 50% higher than in Caucasian men. Now, the next question that always goes with that question is why? And it's not a whole lot. There are a lot of factors that, like I said, we'll talk about those in a minute, but they have contributed all things such as diet or but right now the studies are still going on with that to actually say why is it higher here and, you know, and lower in other groups. And that's something that we'll probably deal with in about a month from now. It's going to be National Minority Health Awareness Month. And they kind of delve into what we consider disparities. And those disparities are basically the differences in outcomes. And it particularly in our particular situation here, we're talking about the difference in cancer outcomes. And one of the statements that's used a lot around within some of our colleagues here is that, you know, that cancer can affect everyone, but cancer doesn't affect everyone equally. And that's when you want to make sure that we're really addressing things such as access to care and just understanding health literacy and that kind of thing as well. So I don't want to just keep talking. Is there anything? Okay.
Oh, no, that's fine. You're good. I when I think of some questions, I kind of interject. I have a question, but I'm gonna wait till you continue.
Okay. All right. Okay. Good. And now let's talk about some of these risk factors. Some of the risk factors that are involved. We break those risk factors down into risk factors being those that you can change and those that you cannot. Now, when you talk about those things that you can change, such as lifestyle changes. Now, here's just a little nugget out there. About 40% of cancer deaths could be prevented with lifestyle change. 40%. So there are some things that we can do to help ourselves. Now, and I want to add this also, many of those risk factors that I'm about to discuss here that we, you know, say that they contribute to just modifying these are just behavior type things. They will also lower your risk of other chronic illnesses such as diabetes, hypertension. So a lot of them are going to be the same. And of course, and in no particular order, but I just have them on in this order on my listing here, is overweight or obesity. And we really want to make sure that we are addressing those issues by doing what we can do, such as watching the diet. You should have a diet that's going to be more plentiful in your fruits and your veggies. Make sure that I know, around around our community, we love to eat. We love to eat at church. We love to eat on Sunday meals together. But we've got to really be mindful, and we put so much emphasis. What's the centerpiece of the table? The turkey. What's the centerpiece of the Sunday dinner? It's the fried chicken or whatever it is that we may have, but it really shouldn't be our meats. We really got to get to the place that we are really indulging more in the veggies, more so, especially the leafy greens and the fruits and that kind of thing. And just make sure that more than half of our plate, it should not be in the meats and that kind of thing, okay? The other thing is physical activity, and we're hearing this everywhere. The sedentary lifestyle, it is literally, it's becoming a demise, for many, many people. We got to get moving. We got to get moving. And we like to say, just be active. We used to say do 30 minutes for 5 days a week, but we just want to put it out there. Get active, for 150 minutes per week. However you need to divvy it up, just, move around. And we've got so many tools now that help us with that, your little all kind of trackers and everything. I got little buzzers going off all the time. We talked about one of our coworkers earlier before we went live and everything, and he would tickle me because every few minutes he had a little buzzer go off, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He said, "It's time to move," and he would just stand up. And I'm like, yeah, just keeping that going and getting that heartbeat up and that kind of thing. So really just being active. And of course, what's number one on my list here, it's smoking. If you haven't started, don't start. If you are a smoker, then stop. That's one of the best things that you can do. One of the best things that you can do for your health, for your family, really, because secondhand smoke is a reality. People die from secondhand smoke exposure. So if you don't smoke, don't start. And of course, limiting your alcohol and that kind of thing. So all of these are just lifestyle changes that you can do to help lower your risk of cancer. And some of the things, now you can do this on your own, because then there are other things that you may not have any control over, such as your age. Some cancer risks go up as you get older. Some, such as genetics and that kind of thing, having a family history. Some people in some sectors, they recommend genetic testing and that kind of thing based off of your family history with other testing. Also, just knowing that that your risk can go up with those type things, as well as your racial or your ethnic background. Some rates go up in certain cancers simply because you may be of whatever racial background. We say that sometimes women, well, I'm kind of deterring a little bit, but say like with breast cancer, you may have, know it or not, whether you may know it or not, Caucasian women may be more frequently diagnosed than an African-American woman, but African-American women, their mortality rate of dying from breast cancer was higher than theirs. So whereas you may get, 4 out of 5 or whatever, that's not the right number, that may be diagnosed, and the Black women are at a lower rate, but then their mortality rate was still higher. And that, they said, basically a lot of things contribute to that. But one of the other factors that they have kind of designated as one that they're wanting to address is the fact that African-American women are often diagnosed at a later stage than other races. And there are a lot of things that go into that. There again could be access to health. It could be just understanding the literacy, understanding even screening and that kind of thing. So there are a lot of things that, play a part in that as well. And also, I want to just talk about briefly here, even symptoms. Now, we hear a lot of different things and that kind of thing. Some of the symptoms, but let's preface this by saying also with the symptoms, you may have some of these, or you may even experience them kind of periodically, but just know that having all of these symptoms does not directly indicate cancer. Okay, so we just want you to be mindful of these. And if you do experience any of these, then make sure you discuss those with your physician. Just like you said, if you see something, say something to your physician about it. Number one is change in bowel habits. 2, rectal bleeding or blood in the stool. 3, cramping or any abdominal belly pain. And unintended or unexplainable weight loss. So any of these are things that you want to mention to your doctor. I would say also, and especially if you're experiencing multiple of these symptoms at the same time. This is something that you will want to make sure that you're discussing with your physician and letting him or her be aware of it, because this is something that they may want to go ahead and address or get some kind of testing or something going for you. And I'm going to go right on to this next little point here, unless were you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to ask you a question. So some of those symptoms, what if they mirror something else? Like, I'm thinking about Crohn's or, irritable bowel syndrome. So I'm wondering, maybe you'll talk about this later, but is maybe one of the reasons that, some people are diagnosed later is because maybe in the beginning, initially, the doctors were running, certain tests and like, 2 months later, let's go ahead and do a colonoscopy or whatever the test is for it. Is that a reason as well? Like just kind of detection may have been missed in the beginning, or it looks like something else?
Yeah, could be, because you bring out a great point. I did not list all of them. These lists are not totally all inclusive or anything, but one of the other risk factors can include, not so much that and I'm not sure if that is basically because of what you said, because they could have had that and it could have been later on diagnosed as that, or if that was leading into that. However, but that IBD, the inflammatory bowel disease, or Crohn's disease, and that kind of thing, it is listed along with one of the risk factors. That's why we were saying one of these may or may not mean that, but I would certainly want to mention this to your doctor, especially if you're having more than one symptom at the same time. So yes, you're exactly right. You're exactly right about that. And that was just a great point. I'm glad you brought that back up. But also, let's talk about a little bit more about the screening portion on it. Now, and a few years ago, I think it's been about 2 years or so, they actually lowered the age for colorectal cancer screening. It used to be 50 years of age, and it is now 45, which is a wonderful thing, because we're seeing that people are they have passed away at earlier ages, or they've been diagnosed at earlier ages from colorectal cancer. And I bring this point out. I think a lot of it came to the forefront in a year that Chadwick Boseman passed away. That year there was a couple of other people that also passed away from colorectal cancer right within that same time frame. And not saying that that's the only reason, but they recognized that the age was dropping. And so the screening therefore needed to be able to reflect, this population, this newer population that was experiencing these symptoms and ultimately being diagnosed with colorectal cancer. So keep that in mind. So if there's someone who was like, oh, I got 5 more years or whatever, no, you can literally go and get your screening done by the age of 45. And also, if you have a family history or you're at a higher risk, then you can actually speak with your physician, because your insurance may go ahead and pay for it. Of course, this is something you'll need to discuss with your insurance carrier, but yeah, if you have a higher risk for any of these diseases, and not only even with cancer, if there's a higher risk for some other things, you can always speak with your physician and see what your insurance carrier may be able to work out for you to start your screening earlier. Women with breast cancer in their family, that kind of thing, you don't have to wait, go ahead and bring it up, because oftentimes once you discuss this with your physician, they will then even begin, they will recommend, well, I didn't know that. We may need to look at you at 35 as opposed to waiting until 40 years old, or, we just don't want to take those risks. So it's very important that you have that patient-centered type relationship with your physician, and you're discussing this openly with them. So make sure you got that relationship that you feel comfortable talking with. And so even when you're selecting a physician, make sure that you have that kind of rapport, or you want to have your physician to be someone that you're comfortable enough to discuss things with that way, and lay things out on the table, even your concerns or that kind of thing.
And I want to add, Rochelle, be your own advocate, because I had a physician that, I was trying to get when I turned 50 last year. And, I was wanting to get the colon screen, and she said, no, the colonoscopy. And she said, well, you don't need that till 50. I said, I want to go ahead and get it now. And so we went ahead and got it. Everything is fine. But still, I'm like that comedian. If my insurance going to pay for it, I'm going to go ahead and get it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so you have to be your own advocate in that, and say, no, I prefer to go ahead. And it was no problem after that. They scheduled it, and it was, but still, even if it's a physician, you still have to, speak up for yourself.
Absolutely. That is so important. Being your own advocate, you have to be an advocate for yourself, and because your body. You know your body better than anyone else, and you're able then to tell someone, no, this is something is just off a little bit. I want you to look again. You can get your second opinion. This is your body, and you got to, like you said, become your own advocate. And also, while we're talking about screening, I also wanted to share with you too that there may be different screenings out there. Some people like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I'll just do, this other fit test, or do the stool test and that kind of thing for screening. And, there's nothing wrong with that. But some of those screenings that you may see are a little bit less maybe invasive or something like that. If there is like a positive testing that comes back as a result of that, you're still going to want to follow up, and most times with a colonoscopy. Colonoscopy, they are considered like the gold standard when it comes to screenings for colorectal cancer. So just keep that in mind, that even if you do one of those, you will still probably end up having to follow up with a colonoscopy. So just wanted to kind of get just a general overview of things as it relates to colorectal cancer and that kind of thing. And just, the key points, making sure that they are aware now that your age for getting a colonoscopy is age 45. They generally, colorectal cancer generally will start with the polyp, which is just an abnormal growth. Not all polyps will turn to cancer, but the colonoscopy can remove those polyps. And therefore, cancer is prevented in that particular case. And also just wanting to make sure that it's termed colorectal cancer because this is a cancer that can start in either the colon or the rectum, okay? Either one of those sites, and it's considered colorectal cancer. But I want to give just a couple of announcements that I wrote down here so I would not forget them. Right now, from our office, we are hosting or helping to coordinate with local churches and that kind of thing if they're interested in hosting what we call Navy Sunday. Navy Sunday. And then even if it's not a church, you're a business owner, you just want to have a Navy Day at your business or something, we encourage you to please just call our office. And, we can provide you with some educational materials that you want to pass out. We even go as far as providing you with a script that you can say just some of these talking points, just to get the information out. The key thing is wanting to make sure that they can get those colonoscopies done beginning at the age of 45, and that colon cancer can be prevented. So if they're interested in hosting one of those events or so before the end of the month, we've got about 10 days or so left. Then, and of course you're not limited to only the month of March, but we really like to highlight it this month. You can call us and we can get you some of that educational material, a few pieces that you can share with your audience or those that'll be in attendance. And the other thing is upcoming here pretty soon, there's one of our reminders going off. I'm sorry.
time to get up and walk.
Time to move. Yeah. Actually, that one was the water reminder. Time to drink some water. It's a reminder for everything. But coming up here pretty soon, and Lady Pam, I will try and make myself a reminder here to contact you. But we will be in partnership with Cooper Green Hospital for those who may be underinsured or uninsured, and they're going to be giving away about 200 colonoscopies.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, if there's some people that would fit that, the criteria, which may include things such as like already having a positive stool test or something like that, and just a few other things. But they will be offering some, like I said, in partnership with Cooper Green Hospital. So we're looking forward to having more information about that upcoming soon. So as soon as we have more information, I'll let you know about that.
Good. Because that was one question I was going to have for you as far as, you were talking about the higher incidence among African Americans, and was, money an issue or not having insurance? And if you knew of any programs out there that could assist with that. And so you just said that, just answered that question. But also, I guess if anyone is having any financial issues, can they see your office or see another office at UAB?
Well, yeah, right now we do have a patient assistance fund that we are. Now, this is just our office. There are many departments and everything throughout the hospital, but our office has some limited funding, but we do a lot with partnerships. So there's, because like I said, we work with the child model. So we have volunteers and we have paid staff members throughout the state and Mississippi as well. So because we're, not so much a separated entity or anything like that, but our funding and that kind of thing, we try to make sure that we are able to provide access through partnerships as well as through our office. So we may partner with a local entity that their specialty is just prostate cancer or just breast cancer. And so once we can partner with them, because we have these people throughout the state, we partner together to make sure that then we can kind of bridge the gap, so to speak, and help them to gain that access. So yes, but they definitely can reach us. And let me give that number before I forget. It's area code 205-975-0003. Again, it's 205-975-0003. Or they can reach us at coeinfo@uab.edu. I was about to say the wrong thing. Yeah, coeinfo@uab.edu. That phone number is 975-0003.
Good. Got it.
Okay, so that's about, I think, all of my points that I was gonna try to make sure we covered everything on today, but definitely the biggest thing we want to take away, colorectal cancer. I was about to say another one. Colorectal cancer is preventable. It is preventable. cervical, as is the other one I was going to mention is cervical cancer, but that's for another show.
Yeah. Oh, it is. I need to have one of those kind of shows for the ladies, but no, Rochelle, this was great, and a lot of it I think is kind of the consensus. There's going to be risks, there's going to be certain factors, genetics we cannot control, but there are things that we can control. Easter, when you're talking about food, I say Easter's coming up and people are already going to be ordering hams, and that's going to be the centerpiece, and the middle table. But we have to also start with our children, really teaching them, how to eat, because, I grew up, deep South, and
Oh,
so you already know how that menu look,
Yeah.
and a lot of us are like that, and so it's just a matter of just kind of really conditioning ourselves to, eat right, to exercise, to make sure your half of your plate is veggies. And Larissa, nutritionist, she was on earlier this month, and she said your meat portion should be no bigger than the inside of your palm of your hand. It should be that small,
Absolutely.
So we have to do those things, make those, and once you do that, all this other stuff will decrease, your blood pressure, diabetes, all that stuff. So it's a trickling effect, like you said earlier. And so, this was great. I tell you, just the fact that we're the third leading cause, that it's the third leading cause in death amongst men and women is just really astounding to me. And so hopefully, there are clinics out there. I know even in Woodlawn area, there's the Christ Health Center. If you just want to get a physician to look at you, there are places that you can go. And so thank you for this information. We need it. Everybody pay attention to your body. Just pay attention. Don't blow it off. We live busy lives, but we can't be that busy where we cannot take care of ourselves,
Right. We have that responsibility. As you know, these are our temples.
Right.
These are our temples. We get them while we're here.
That's right.
There's no need for them outside of being here, right? So we got to do our part in making sure that we are going to take care of it. And there are a lot of things, like you mentioned, this is the way we grew up. This is what we do. This is what we eat. And you know what, in moderation for a lot of things, but at some point you do have to say, you know what, no, we're not going to do that. And, there's a scripture that says, why so downcast, oh my soul, put your hope in God, that kind of thing. And I found myself sometimes I have to talk to him. No, you're not getting any more.
Right.
That's enough. No, you're not going to get the cupcake. We're going to eat, the green beans, or we're going to, and it's a choice in some of these things. So we just have to try to make better decisions, better choices. And it's really, our bodies will thank us for it, really will. And just wanted to say that it's the third leading cancer cause of death.
Cancer cause,
cancer cause. When you're looking at, because it's lung cancer, and then you have the prostate and the breast, and then colorectal cancer. So when you're looking at cancers, it's the third cancer.
Third cancer. Okay. Yeah.
Cancer related death.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, it had. Thank you so much. I'm just going to give our viewers just a few announcements that's coming up. Please hold on and just give us a few, just a few tips, some takeaways as far as what our viewers need to leave with. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for our Winning Wednesday. We're talking about colorectal cancer with Rochelle Wallace at UAB. And so I want to thank her so much for her time. Don't forget, guys, on tomorrow. Well, let me start with tonight. Tonight, Pastor Mason is going to be taking our youth and children through experiencing God on their level. The adults will tomorrow, as you see on the screen. That's the book for our adults. And so if you want your children to even learn how to know and do the will of God, please send me an email. Of course, parents who are part of BBC, Pastor Mariah has already sent you text message system. So make sure you read that in its entirety. But if you are a guest, and say, hey, I want my child to be a part of it, please send me an email at ladypam@tcowi.org. Tomorrow, our adults will continue our small group at 7 o'clock p.m. We are experiencing God. This is a book by Dr. Henry Blackaby. Awesome step-by-step. It's a 5-day a week process for 12 weeks, but really talks about the will of God and know how to recognize his voice, hear his voice. And so many great things in the book. The call tonight for the children's at 6. I forgot to say that, but the call for the children tonight is at 6. So you can be a part of that. Please make sure on Sunday you are in the place for our temple worship celebrations. Of course, as every Sunday at 10, we meet at C.W. Hayes School. So hope to see you there. This Sunday, we're going to have the final lesson in our Families That Win series. We've been studying the 10 commandments. And so this Sunday is number 10. So of course, we will wrap that up. And then our children, of course, they have their children's version of the 10 commandments and have it in a fun and exciting way. So of course, we're doing that as well. Don't forget about our prayer room call. That's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That number is on your screen, but it's at 6 a.m. That number is 727-731-0433. Also, we had a great time on today. Please go back and listen to our previous guests. Last week, we had attorney Katrina talk about the importance of wills. Y'all go back and get that information. Let's make sure we do our part to make sure that we're leaving an inheritance and a legacy for our children, making sure everything is intact, so that when you pass away, or even while you're still here, there are certain people who know what needs to be done. So that was great. Alzheimer's was great. Larissa talked about nutrition. That was great. Next Wednesday, we're going to talk about chronic kidney disease. It's also that month as well. So we're going to talk about that. So we're ending this month really talking about our health. Don't forget the book of the month, The Peacemaker. This is a great book, y'all. Make sure you get this book and read it. It really talks about how you can handle conflicts in your life, people on your job, relationships, whomever. But this is a great book to have, but it's called The Peacemaker. And then we had people who are asking us about our lunch and learns. Yes, we're going to get them started again. Had one this month. We're going to have it next month for our singles. The date is April the 15th. April the 15th on a Saturday. Please register by sending us an email at singles@bhambc.org. Singles@bhambc.org. We will let you know about the time and location of the restaurant when you send us an email and you register. And then for our married couples, our lunch and learn is going to be April the 22nd. So the next Saturday, April 22nd. If you want more information about that, please make sure you send us an email at marriedcouples@bhambc.org. That is marriedcouples@bhambc.org. Final announcement, our spiritual renewal retreat is going to be this summer. It is June 23rd through 25th in White Bluff, Tennessee. We're going to have a great time getting away with Jesus. That's our theme. It's only $150 per person, but that includes your meals, your lodging, the sessions, everything. So this is going to be great. You see, we have a great lineup on the screen. Pastor Jennifer Carter out of Atlanta, Pastor Cook here in Birmingham, Pastor Kerwin Lee, his wife Yolanda Lee out of Atlanta, and then Bishop Kevin Adams and his wife, Lady Cynthia, out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. So it's going to be great. You can register on our website at bhambc.org. When you see this flyer, you can click on it and register. If you need more information, reach out to us at Lady Pam at tcowi.org. And those are all the announcements I have for this afternoon. Thank you so much, Rochelle. This was wonderful. Wonderful as always. Please give us some takeaways so we can dismiss our audience.
Okay. Big thing, colorectal cancer is preventable, guys. It's preventable. Early detection is key. Early detection saves lives. You can start getting screening at the age of 45. If you have some of those high risk, or if you are at a high risk of getting colorectal cancer, such as having a family history or having had irritable bowel disease, or even some of those symptoms, those kind of things. We want to make sure that you are letting your doctor know about that ahead of time, realizing that you may begin those screenings even earlier than the age of 45. Also, do what you can do. Those risk factors that you can modify, get active, get that 150 minutes of activity going. Make sure that if you smoke, stop. If you need help, there's a quit line, 1-800-QUIT NOW, 1-800-QUIT NOW. That's a free smoking cessation classes and that kind of thing is available for you. And just making sure that you can do what you can do to take care of your body, watching your diet, that kind of thing. But mainly get that screening done beginning at age 45 or even earlier if you have any of those risk factors going on.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rochelle. Thank you to all of our viewers on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitter, My Sunday app, through the website, however you watched it today. Thank you so much for watching us. It has been our pleasure to serve you and give you information to educate you, to enlighten you, and to inspire you. So listen, have a great rest of your not hump day, but victory day, because we are all winners. Today is our victory. We are all winners through Christ Jesus. And so thank you so much, Rochelle, for all that you do for us. And you have a great rest of your week. Thank you.
Too. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, it's time for a praise party. I need you to put your hands together like this. That we are victorious. We are the head and not the tail. We are above and not beneath. Why? Because we are the winners. We are God's righteousness. All the winners make some noise in the house. All my winners make some noise in the house. I got any winners over here? I need y'all to make some noise. And repeat after me.